you're watching Afghanistan Report and I'm your host Swati Kundra. The main stories are: India, Afghanistan and Iran signed historic agreement to build trade and transit corridor around Chabahar port. Afghan Taliban appoints Haibatullah Akhundzada as new leader. And 11 killed in Kabul suicide attack. India, Afghanistan and Iran have signed a trilateral agreement to set up a trade and transport corridor through Afghanistan. Once the Chabahar port in Iran is developed, goods from India will not only travel up to Afghanistan but beyond along the yet-to-be-developed international north-south transport corridor to Central Asia. We have a report.
At a historic event in Tehran on May 23, India, Afghanistan and Iran signed an agreement to set up a trade and transport corridor through Afghanistan that will have Iran's Chabahar port as the hub. The agreement was signed during Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's two-day visit to Tehran. The project means India will be able to tap into Iranian and Afghan markets, and landlocked Afghanistan will also get an alternate to the port of Karachi in Pakistan. Modi also signed a deal with Iran and pledged up to $500 million to develop the southern port of Chabahar in Iran in a move to give his country trade access to Iran, Afghanistan and Central Asia. Terming the agreement a historic movement, Modi said it will expand trade, attract investment, build infrastructure and create jobs for youths.
Today, we are all witnessing creation of history, not just for the people of our three countries, but for the entire region.
Under the agreement, road and rail links are to be built so that landlocked Afghanistan can get access to the Iranian port as an alternative to the Pakistani port of Karachi. Afghan President Ashraf Ghani thanked India and Iran for focusing on Afghanistan's potential despite the years-long war.
I thank them because they believe that Afghanistan is going to be stable in their wagering on our stability, not on our destruction.
Chabahar is about 100 kilometers from Pakistan's Gwadar seaport, which China is developing as part of a 46 billion China-Pakistan economic corridor. India is one of the biggest buyers of Iranian crude and is set to import at least 4 lakh barrels per day from Iran in the year from April 1.
Indian Prime Minister will soon be visiting Afghanistan to formally inaugurate the Salman Dam near Herat and discuss more on trade corridor with President Ghani. To discuss more on this, we are now joined by Vishal Chandra, Associate Fellow at IDSA. Welcome Vishal. How crucial will be the visit of Prime Minister Modi to Kabul? Will there be more talks over the construction of the trade corridor to Chabahar port?
The security situation in Afghanistan, the political situation, the economic situation, we are a close neighbor. We are a development partner of the Afghan people. Last 15 years we have been involved in various sectors in Afghanistan. We are the only country which has projects across Afghanistan, where our investments or our reconstruction projects are not confined to any particular part of Afghanistan. We are the 4th or the 5th largest bilateral donor and certainly largest from the region. So I think India has taken a long-term view of the developments in Afghanistan and our relationship with the people of Afghanistan. I think Prime Minister's visit comes at a very crucial time. It will help reinforce the political process that started in 2001 in Afghanistan.
Since the security situation in Afghanistan is not favorable, what challenges will India and Iran face to construct trade and transport corridor from Afghanistan?
Well, there are security challenges involved. As you are aware, the Taliban chief, the Taliban Amir, Mullah Akhtar Mansoor, was recently killed inside Balochistan. And so Americans still have 13,000 troops in Afghanistan. Afghan National Army, they have carried out several operations because Taliban have opened multiple fronts, and all this despite efforts by President Ashraf Ghani for reconciliation with the Taliban leadership, which the Taliban leadership have constantly refused to accept. So obviously that creates a political deadlock as far as President Ghani's reconciliation efforts are concerned.
How will Afghanistan benefit from this corridor? Will there be more prosperity with this project?
Definitely, if three countries have come together, not only on helping Afghanistan revive its economy or integrate Afghanistan into the regional connectivity networks, but also on areas like drug trafficking, cybercrime, terrorism, radicalization. India and Iran have decided to increase their cultural interaction, something which has been going on between India and Afghanistan. I think these three countries have enough interests to work together, to take a long-term view, and somewhere try and redefine their relationship as it grows, keeping in view the threat from terrorism and radicalization to Afghanistan and to the wider South Central Asia region in the years to come.
Moving on, Afghan Taliban has named Haibatullah Akhundzada as its new leader following the death of Mullah Akhtar Mansoor in US drone strike. NATO says Mansoor was killed because he stood in the way of peace. We have a report.
Haibatullah Akhundzada, an Islamic legal scholar, has been elected new leader by Afghan Taliban. He was named in a United Nations report last year as former chief of the Sharia-based justice system under the Taliban's 5-year rule over Afghanistan, which ended with their ouster in 2001. Akhundzada, believed to be around 60 years old and a member of the powerful Nurzai tribe, was a close aide to Omar and is from Kandahar in the south of Afghanistan and the heartland of the Taliban. The announcement following a meeting of the Taliban's main Shura or Leadership Council ended days of confusion during which the Taliban declined to confirm the death of Mansoor in a drone strike in Pakistan on May 21.
We killed Mullah Mansour because he stood in the way of peace. Is peace and stability, and that can be accomplished through reconciliation. And we have great confidence in the security forces in Kandahar. But I also want to assure you that we are going to give them our full support in their job.
Afghan political analysts believe the death of Mansoor and confirmation of his replacement will have an impact on the future of the group.
The leader dead is a very important point for Taliban. Hardliner Taliban. This Taliban will be stronger inside the Taliban.
The Obama administration hopes Mansoor's death will have a long-term impact by pushing the Taliban to end its refusal to engage in peace negotiations with Kabul and choose the path to reconciliation.
In a shocking incident, rockets fired in the western Afghan city of Herat hit a wall of the provincial governor's building and nearby houses, killing at least one civilian. The attack came a day after US forces conducted an airstrike that Afghan and US officials said had probably killed Taliban leader Mullah Akhtar Mansoor. General Majid Rozi, Herat's chief of police, confirmed that at least 3 rockets had been fired at the governor's building where a meeting on security was being held.
یکیش به درخت اول میخوره اینجا انفجار میکنه یکی دیگهش میره دو دروازه و دو تاق چیز ولایت اونجا میخوره مرمی سیم اثر ولایت سر میکنه دو سرک باغ مراد اونجا تصادف با یک زنان دیگه سوار میکنه که تنها همون دریور هم زنان شهید شده.
Violence continues unabated in Afghanistan. Kabul remains the worst hit as the Taliban make fresh attempts to destabilize the country. Recently, a suicide bomber killed at least 11 people near Kabul.
The May 25 attack on a bus carrying staff from an appeal court west of the Afghan capital Kabul also left 4 others injured. The Taliban has claimed responsibility for the attack. Taliban spokesman Zabihullah Mujahid said in a statement the attack on staff from the judicial system was in response to the Afghan government's decision earlier this month to execute 6 Taliban prisoners on death row. The decision by President Ashraf Ghani to execute the prisoners on death row was taken as part of a tougher policy towards the Taliban following a suicide attack by the insurgent movement which killed at least 64 people in Kabul.
With that, we have come to the end of this week's episode of Afghanistan Report. I'm Swati Kuntra taking your leave. We'll be back next week with more news and views from Afghanistan. Goodbye and Khuda Hafiz.